This episode is sponsored by WeHaveMerch.com. WeHaveMerch.com. Prices starting at only $12.99. Sizes up to 6XL. 17 different shirt designs. Buy 2 shirts and get a bigger discount. Anybody that buys 3 shirts gets a 10-minute guest spot on Cool Kids Countdown. Buy one now. This episode is also sponsored by the following.
Get ready, guys. Mark it on your calendar. Saturday, June the 23rd, Harrison, Arkansas, Youth Center. A big reminder is that Harrison, Arkansas is only 30 minutes south of Branson, Missouri, and only about an hour from Springfield, Missouri. I want you to join us at the Legends of Wrestling as we return to Harrison, Arkansas. That's right, guys. This is a family-friendly event to help a great cause. All the proceeds will go to Jake Boulder's Medical Relief. So who's going to be at the Legends of Wrestling? It's going to be Jerry the King Lawler, Superstar Bill Dundee, Tim Storm, Hall of Fame referee James Beard, Gary Graham, Matt Riviera, Space Cowboy Jason Jones, the Diamond Dogs, Mr. Saturday Night Michael Berry, and many more. You can get your tickets at www.mswtickets.com. Be there!
'80s Tees is the leading online retailer of officially licensed t-shirts, specializing in retro movie, music, TV show, video games, comic book, and cartoon t-shirts. '80s Tees has you covered. They have everything from G.I. Joe, Seinfeld, and Back to the Future, as well as 152 different classic wrestling shirts. Plus, free shipping on all orders over $50. Visit them now at our link, tinyurl.com/STS80stees. That's tinyurl.com/STS80STEES. Visiting them at our link will cost you nothing extra, but it will help support this podcast. Now, back to the show.
Have you listened to episode 46? Who wants to be the best Shiznitter ever? Episode 46 features 4-time champion Matthew SRA battling challenger the Golden Boy Greg Anthony. Here's a clip. All the archives at www.stspod.club. Talk about it.
Okay, repeat the question for me.
All right, question. PWG. Pro Wrestling Gorilla has a gorilla as a logo. I want you to name a promotion PW what with the logo and everything. Has to be an animal. 75
like a fictional
seconds.
One or like a real one?
It's up to you. 75 seconds.
Okay. Let's do Pro Wrestling Kangaroo. And actually based in Australia, and it'll talk about the fighting habits of of the
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's start the party.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool kids.
Hey everybody. Hey Lance. I'm going to welcome Lance. I'm live from STS Studios in St. Louis, Missouri. And Lance LeVine, Mr. Divine Lance LeVine. How's it going tonight, Lance?
Right here from the Armor Potted Meat Studios in Chicago. Armor Potted Meat. You cannot beat that.
Oh my God, I've got to tell you, my dad's been gone for so many years, but I've got to tell you, and I will tell all the listeners, and they're going to go, ugh, when he says this, but my dad and potted meat, okay? My dad called Vienna sausages Puppy Peters.
Wait, what sausages?
Viennese.
You mean Now you got me saying it.
No,
Vienna.
that's what we call them here down here in the South, okay?
Yeah,
That's what
okay.
we call them.
Viennese.
Yeah,
So-
Viennese is what we call them.
Vienna sausages. But yeah.
But I pronounce it the way we do, man.
Armour
so he
makes
called those, he called
potted
those,
meat and treat. I like treat, too.
He called it Puppy Peters.
Oh, that's gross.
So you know what he called potted meat?
Puppy poo.
No, cow cooch. So there we go. So he's sponsored
is this still a
by
wrestling
Cow
show?
Cooch.
What are we talking about here? Just because Armour Potted Meat sponsored the Chicago studios this week. So I have to be careful next time who I get to
You never
sponsor.
know what
us.
happens here.
I know, down
we don't
south.
rehearse anything, so what the fuck,
Roadkill meat.
Oh, wow, there was a Southern joke, y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never eaten roadkill, but I have. In Cool Kids MMA talk group where we talk about wrestling and everything in the world, I have admitted that I've eaten squirrel, rabbit, deer, all kinds of varmints. So there you go.
Deer almost seems normal compared to some of the other stuff you've eaten.
Yeah, that's
like cow cooch. Cow cooch. So, are we going to do a top 10 today?
Yeah, let's go. Come on, tell me what we're doing. Wait, and I want everyone to know this is not going to be your normal. Everyone probably is going to put over Dominion and how good it was. This is a little different. So tell them what we're doing.
We're doing, as we've done before, the top 10 takeaways from Dominion 2018 from last Saturday, Friday night, Saturday morning, something like that. So top 10 takeaways. Dominion, the one thing I was going to say is Dominion itself, the name of the show, sounds like something Paige would be into. I'm pretty sure it's something that Paige and some of her cronies have been into. So one thing before we get into our 10 takeaways is I've heard talk, these last few days that is it the best pay-per-view of all time? And I think that's a debatable point. That is a debatable point because there was so much good about this card. For me personally, I don't think I can call it the best card of all time, mainly because the undercard was just kind of there for me. And I know that, can you say that a card is the best card of all time based on the strength of the final four matches, four or five matches?
No. Yeah.
I don't know. Does it have to be stacked, from top to bottom to make it the best of all time? I think there's probably been some Wrestle Kingdoms for me that have been higher than Dominion, but I mean, I can definitely see it as an arguable point for sure that Dominion is the best card of all time. I know is it better than any WWE card of all time? I mean, that's definitely that is an arguable point for sure. That could be true.
It is, but you have to go back to the thing about when you look at things like that. Go ahead, let's start number 10. This will go right into what we're doing.
Yeah.
So start with 10.
Okay, so 10 was the short, harmless matches on the undercard and the irrelevance of the undercard.
Right, and that's part of what I was going to say. You have to go back to some of the WrestleManias. I mean, match quality, WWE may never, there may never been that many good matches on one show. Although, like you said, Wrestle Kingdom probably had a couple of those. Mm-hmm. The thing about it is, even back in the day, almost every match on a WrestleMania, even the pay-per-views now, even though, they're not, I'm not as excited about pay-per-views now, almost every match means something. New Japan has that, they've burned me out so much on those tag team matches that I just skip through them when it comes to any show. I actually watched all the matches on this one but one, and that's kind of why I could say this is not the greatest card ever. Not that it didn't have some really great matches on it, but yeah, just like you said, number 10 is short matches.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten used to the New Japan format. I mean, obviously we knew the first four matches or so were going to be short because the length of what the main event was going to be for sure built in, as well as some of the other matches towards the end. So you knew these matches were going to be short, and they rarely ever veer from this format. It works well for them. The cards build to their peak. Like you said, there's always the way too much dominance of the tag matches early on. But on this one, at least, there were little meaningful things that were kind of thrown in, so it didn't feel like filler, and as much as I like Elias and New Day, there was nothing like that as far as like half hour of comedy crap that, you're already in for 5 hours, so don't string me along with half an hour of comedy. So I'd say most of the undercard was anywhere from like 2.25 to 3-star matches. But I'll tell you, their format, once the card gets rolling, there's no popcorn matches in the second half of the show, So, I mean, that works for them. Who am I to tell them to do it any different way? But yeah, the first half of the show was pretty irrelevant, pretty short matches, pretty harmless. Just a little bit of stuff thrown in here and there to keep your interest. So at number 9, we have Now I Can Tell Show and Yo apart.
I can't. So, I made notes while I was watching the show because I knew we was going to do this. I hardly ever do it. I used to do trampolines, but I wrote, and I have no idea why I wrote this, but I wrote "Show Yo Mama." Is what I put. Show Yo Mama. And guys,
love my mama.
I love llamas. I actually like this. If you go back and watch this match, it's so weird when you're watching a New Japan show, but all of a sudden it's just basic U.S. psychology. I mean, that's pretty much what it was. Mm-hmm. Also, and I can't tell you which one, but if you watch real close a couple of times, both of them, it's still real green sometimes. At times they're doing things out of place, or they haven't worked together what they're going to do, and they're just standing around waiting on something to happen. Mm-hmm. But still, just, I mean, when I say green, these guys are fantastic comparing how long they've been doing it.
Yeah, I think thanks to the Best of the Super Junior, now you can kind of tell Show and Yo apart, and using them as singles, I think that helped in being able to differentiate with them for me. But what was weird was during Best of Super Juniors, everybody was saying, Show has it. Show is the breakout star. Show this, show that. I'm like, I don't know. I think, like you said, they need a lot more seasoning. I think down the line, maybe they have it. Maybe there's something to those guys. And what I could see them doing down the line, maybe a few years down the line, is turning Show heel and attempting to make them like lifelong career foes, have them married for the rest of their lives as far as going back to each other as far as foes. I thought that the junior tag match here with Desperado and Kanemaru was decent. It was a good starter to the show. I gave it maybe 3 stars. Good enough match, but like you said, real good catch. Like, definitely some green stuff came up with them, but I think that there is potential with Show, but I don't think we need to crown the guy just yet. So at number 8, we have Juice Robinson is still annoying, and that match was 2.25 stars, and it was the quote worst match of the card.
Yeah, that's what I gave it. I gave it 2 stars, so there you go. I didn't think much of it either. Man, I look at Jay White and I go, man, they really, really have fucked up with him. There's just he's so plain, and you say, well, Juice is still annoying. Man, that motherfucker is over. I mean, we could talk about how silly he looks, which he does, but compared to White, he's like 10 times over. He's doing the thing where he's saying juice, the moose thing that everyone steals. I like Finley. For some reason, I would push Finley before I would White. Finley's this white guy who just everything's so solid that he does, and I believe in him more than I do White. I love the double team move with the Tree of Woe. Where Juice did the cannonball. Do you remember they one of them was set down, and then they did the trail wall and someone else, and then he did the cannonball. Just a great double team move in the corner there.
I used to love Kevin Sullivan pronounced it the Tree of Woo. I just love that with the thick Boston accent. So anyway, 2.25, worst star of the card. I mean, it's a pretty good card when 2.25 is the lowest grade you're given anything. So no duds, no 1 stars, no Lana matches, Juice just annoys the fuck out of me. I mean, I've gone on record before. The guy can go in the ring. Don't get on me, because he's not a bad wrestler at all. He's gotten better and better in the ring. But even in pants, he annoys me. Even though, I mean, there's less of the ass tattoo tattoo. There's no chance I'm seeing that stupid ass tattoo when he's wearing pants. So I just think his act is so contrived. He tries so hard to be the badass. Even the swearing that he's doing in the audience sounds so forced. With the "fuck you" and shit. It's like I don't know. The whole act is just so forced. It's so not natural. So. And I had it in my notes too. Jay White is the most bland thing. I don't know why they picked this guy to be the Switchblade character. The Finley pick would have been so much better if they wanted to do that character and do it with somebody that has a little bit more pizzazz. They could have gone with Finley. I think this match obviously existed for Juice to go for the U.S. title in the Cow Palace. And honestly, I mean, the Jay White thing is not connecting, so I could see them putting the belt on Robinson. As much as I don't like the guy is over, so I could easily see them putting the belt on him in San Francisco for sure.
I agree.
So at number 7, we have the new and improved Michael Elgin.
I saw pictures of Mike on Twitter, and he's on the keto diet. And it is one of those things which I've done before when I was in shape. It is very, very limited to what you eat, no carbs. Just hard as hell to do, makes you a very cranky person because you're not getting a lot of what you need. He looks fantastic, he's fucking jacked, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, I got as excited as, what is Don Callis, I think. So, and then let me tell you what, I love Tai Chi. Do you like Tai Chi?
I hate Tai Chi. He's just, well, go ahead. I'll get to it.
I gotta tell you, the first time I seen Tai Chi, he was wrestling, I can't remember who he's wrestling, and it was, I believe it was from, where did they come from? I can't remember. It's not, what promotion did he come from? Noah. Was it Noah?
Noah, yeah, Noah.
Yeah. And he was wrestling some other guy. This other guy who I can't remember is the one that was so good, but I thought Tai Chi was the one that was so good. I actually emailed Dave Meltzer and said, "This is the next star right here."
Did he have the girl with him then too, or
Yes.
no?
I love that. I love the whole gimmick. I love he's not really, he's not the level of the other Japanese guys, but for some reason, he's over with me. Elgin, I like the finish of this match. Elgin looked fantastic. There's a lot can be said about it this year for Elgin or late last year with everything that's been going on. But just, he put his head down, lost, they said 40 pounds.
40 pounds,
and he looks it too, so.
Yeah. So this, before I get into what I got to say about this match, how are you doing on your diet? I got to ask you.
Oh, there we go. So we're down almost 6 pounds, which is the goal. And then starting, I have Father's Day coming up, so I'm going to be a pig this coming Sunday.
Cheat weekend, yeah.
Cheat day. I don't usually do that when I'm doing one of these. I don't believe in cheat days when you got 90 days to do something or whatever. I figure you can go 90 days and then cheat afterwards. But I will be cheating on Father's Day. But then the Monday I'm starting the actual exercise part of what I do. And so I'm going to start looking at probably a lot more coming off and getting my stamina back when it comes to honestly, I've spent the last 3 years working from home, gained 40 pounds since I got married, and 47 pounds since I got married. And so it's just one of those things where I don't do any exercise. I just got really, one of the reasons was I just got out of breath going to Walmart. So that's one of those things where, as a diabetic, you just can't keep doing it. It's going to eventually catch up to you. I don't want to cut off my legs or anything like that. So man, Elgin lost 40 pounds, and you apparently found the 40 pounds. I did, yeah. It took me a couple of years to get it, though. So, but the first time I lost weight, I lost 43 pounds in less than 90 days. So it can be done. It can be done. So, all right. So on this match, I say, here's my hot take is Abe, I think it's Abe Miho is how it's pronounced. I'm going to say she is better looking than Tokyo Latina. That's my hot take for this match. So, but mainly keep her the hell away from Big Mike. That's what I got to say. So he lost 40 pounds. He looked amazing. He was wearing, he was out there showing it because he was wearing trunks instead of that singlet that he always wears. Yeah. My question, as soon as I saw how good he looked, is I wonder how he smelled. So anyway,
not quite as big Mike wins the title, pinning Tai Chi. And all I could think of is that Tai Chi was inserted into this match just basically A, to do the job, and B, to get Abe Miho on TV for this paper for this big card.
Easily.
So
yeah, you're right
when
about that. Yeah.
you ask about Tai Chi, I'm like, he's just kind of there. He's not horrible, but he's just kind of there. And the way I thought about this match is that was the equivalent of, how we were all so excited about Daniel Bryan against Samoa Joe, and then they insert Big Cass into that match. So this match could have been great if it was just Elgin against Goto. And then they have to go and insert Tai Chi in it. But I'll take Tai Chi in just in the sense that they got Abi on TV for this one. So
there you go.
Anyway, so the new and improved Michael Elgin. I like Michael Elgin matches. I don't give a fuck what people say about what he did, what he didn't do, who he flirted with. Does he have bad sense of judgment of who he's going to flirt with and where? Yeah, he does. But tell me
fucked up. We said this before. I'll just come out and say it. I'd love to have Mike talk to him, but he's in a lawsuit now.
Yeah.
Because of the shit that she released and considered the privacy and blah, blah, blah. What Mike did was fucked up, and I can understand why people are pissed off. The person that really should be pissed off, is his wife. So,
of course.
And then the wife said, God, he lost 40 pounds. She said, I guess, he quit doing all the bad things he was doing and just concentrated on losing weight. And that may have been what helped him. But Mike fucked up, but God, it's hurt him so bad in the United States with the booking. But I don't see that, I don't see it when I'm watching him work. And they made comments about it. Didn't look like he lost any strength. It really did. And you can, if you lose weight, you can lose some of your strength.
He looked great, and I'm glad to see him wrestling. And I hope, just like with Rich Swann, getting some more opportunities back in the States again on the Indies and stuff. Let fucking Michael Elgin work, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. He made a bad call with flirting with somebody who was a fucking piece of shit. So let the guy work. When was the last time one of us made a mistake that cost us our job? Jesus Christ. Anyway, enough of my soapbox. At number 6.
Yeah.
Are we moving on, or you got more to say?
We are. Let's go ahead.
Okay, number 6, we got Suzuki and Ishii. Yes, please.
See, I got nothing to. I really got nothing to say. I skipped that match. It had
really. Oh my god.
It had Zach Bohr. Zach Bohrhead.
Jack Sabor Jr. Is that what you're trying to say?
God. He still looks like that skinny kid that lives across the street. And that kid's cuter than Zach. So what the hell, I don't. You know what? It's just really weird when it comes to Suzuki for me. Sometimes I can just be, I have the biggest heart on for the guy when it comes to who he's going against, and then some of the stuff that he does. And it's the little stuff. It's the smelling of the Omega match where he was smelling the fear and stuff like that. Just no one does shit like that. But then nothing. Ishii and him doesn't excite me. I don't know. I got kind of turned off by Ishii because of some of the matches. Some of the single matches I've seen in England, and also some of the stuff that I've seen that he did over WrestleMania weekend. They were just more into the same match over and over and over. And I was like, man, but hey, I'll probably at least try to watch a match between these two guys.
I am salivating. I couldn't disagree with you more. I'm salivating over the prospect of Suzuki and Ishii in just a physical, 20, 25-minute beatdown fest where they just both lay him in. So I'm confused, though, on Suzuki. He lost a hair match earlier this year. Now he has hair again. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's going against all principles of professional wrestling history that Suzuki has hair back again. So I thought Callis had one of the lines of the night when he said the rubber wagon is bringing Yano in. I thought that was hilarious. But the Ishii Suzuki stuff, I would think it was like the third match on the card. It was the first time I sat up and had to just my jaw on the floor watching what I was watching. It was just so physical. Their chemistry is just meant to be together. It's just so interesting to watch and just compelling for me. I loved the Yano. When Yano was in the double submission from Suzuki and Sabre, I thought that was great. And you're right, Sabre looks like a beach volleyball player as much as anything else. But the guy isn't nearly as boring as Jay White to me. I can actually watch Zack Sabre matches and be entertained by it. So I thought this match, they kept the BS to a minimum. good match, and they just, it was there. It basically existed to set up the singles match down the line for Suzuki and Ishii. So big fan of Ishii. Can't wait to see that.
All right. Hey, let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Get ready, guys. Mark it on your calendar. Saturday, June the 23rd, Harrison, Arkansas, Youth Center. A big reminder is that Harrison, Arkansas is only 30 minutes south of Branson, Missouri, and only about an hour from Springfield, Missouri. I want you to join us at the Legends of Wrestling as we return to Harrison, Arkansas. That's right, guys. This is a family-friendly event to help a great cause. All the proceeds will go to Jake Boulder's Medical Relief. So who's going to be at the Legends of Wrestling? It's going to be Jerry the King Lawler, Superstar Bill Dundee, Tim Storm, Hall of Fame referee James Beard, Gary Graham, Matt Riviera, Space Cowboy Jason Jones, the Diamond Dogs, Mr. Saturday Night Michael Berry, and many more. You can get your tickets at www.mswtickets.com. Be there!
80s Tees is the leading online retailer of officially licensed t-shirts, specializing in retro movie, music, TV show, video games, comic book, and cartoon t-shirts. 80s Tees has you covered. They have everything from G.I. Joe, Seinfeld, and Back to the Future, as well as 152 different classic wrestling shirts. Plus, free shipping on all orders over $50. Visit them now at our link, tinyurl.com/STS80stees. That's tinyurl.com/STS80STEES. Visiting them at our link will cost you nothing extra, but it will help support this podcast. Now, back to the show.
All right, we're back. Lance, I want to do a couple of shout-outs. Michael Young, who, man, he retweets a lot of stuff, makes a lot of great comments, and we do appreciate the support, Michael. I want to bring Michael on the next time we do a roundtable. We'll kick Brian Thompson to the curb and bring Michael on. And then Tony Curtis. The cool thing about
the actor, Tony Curtis?
Yeah, I think he's dead, right?
Yeah, I think he died.
SoundCloud is really cool with the stats on SoundCloud. John, I can see you when you listen. But you can actually see who's listening if they make a user account. And this guy has just discovered us and has went through tons of episodes. I appreciate the support, Tony. It was really awesome seeing that. And the last couple of episodes, I really think, especially the last Cool Kids Countdown, me and you were on top of our game. I absolutely loved the Derek King episode. I'm saying that, and then I was the one asking the questions. But it just feels like right now we're hitting our stride and, hitting great numbers, good following. And if we don't get, anyone else to listen or whatever, I'd be good with it. We're doing really well. And Lance, we might as well get with the countdown here, and we're at number 5.
Yeah, I wanted to send a shout out too. Okay. I heard recently that we just got followed by @Canellis_Baby. So that's another new follower. So
oh my God! See, you got it in there. I had something coming up with the. Oh, you beat me to the Canellis.
Beat you to it. And I wanted to say too that overall my opinion of Dominion is that show was family friendly. Anyway, back to the list.
No, wait. Let me do this. Family
friendly.
All right, here we go.
Got it. At number 5, we have The Rise of Hiromu.
Okay, before we get to this match now, we're going to talk about him and Ospreay. I want you to listen to this, okay?
Fuck you, little cunt.
God, I hope you guys heard that. Let's play it one more time.
Fuck you, little cunt.
Will Ospreay has a dirty, nasty mouth.
Here we just said family friendly, and then you're going to play that.
Hey, it's not us family friendly.
This is true. It's that bastard. It's that pip cheerio bastard, Will Ospreay.
There you go. All right, you're a great story here. And did you go ahead and tell what it was?
The Rise of Hiromu.
Okay, there we go. Number 5. Just a great story. The build of the thing was that he was champion, lost the belt, and this is one of Ghetto's favorite stories. He loves the way you could take the belt off someone and watch them chase it again. Mm-hmm. Just great matches after great matches this year. He was one of your one of your picks to be a breakout star, and just absolutely, I love everything about this guy. It seems he can't use Daryl in Japan now because they've told him not to quit doing it because of copyright rules. But just a strange guy. I've always liked his gear, his entrance. He was on all fours, crawling to the ring at a couple minutes there, but. Yeah, a big fan of his. Love watching his style. I don't know that he'll last much longer if he keeps doing what he's doing. But yeah,
I think the way they elevated him this year has been just so spot on. Every move they've made with Hiromu has just been spot on. I think he obviously owned the Best of the Super Juniors. He owned that entirely. That was any matches that I watched, 3/4 of the matches that I watched from that was because of him. And then literally a week later, he goes on to immediately win the title over Ospreay. They just created a superstar, a breakout, like I said, the breakout superstar. He was my highest ranking Japanese guy on the breakout list that we did earlier this year. This match this is my second best match of the night. I had it at 4 1/4. Crowd was so behind him. Oh my God. It was so great seeing the way the crowd reacted to him. And that is not at all a diss on Ospreay, because Ospreay worked his ass off in this match too. That dive off the ramp by Ospreay towards the beginning of the match was outstanding. And you talk about guys who aren't going to be able to do it for much longer. Jesus, both of these guys. But the timing on the Takahashi elevation has just been so perfect. You can debate whether they missed the boat in putting the belt on Naito at Wrestle Kingdom. Obviously, there's been many misfires as far as timing goes in WWE, but I'll tell you, the timing on this just felt like just the right the right execution of it with Hiromu as far as elevating him here and putting the belt on him here, and the crowd just went ballistic when he won it. So the Rise of Hiromu, I actually had this at number 2 on the list. You had it lower, so I think that was a huge story on this card. So, and
I had it the same. I ranked it the same way you did. Same rating, and it was my second favorite. I want to say something though with the damn fucking tape that they keep putting on their bodies, on their shoulders or neck. At one point, it looked like someone had just did a big load on his neck. It was all, if you took a picture of it, it looked like he just got done with some gay porn or something,
I think that was Paige. Paige had a big load on her neck. You're thinking of another show.
Oh, man, fuck.
Maybe that's what it is.
All right, number 4.
All right, number 4 was the team of Liger, Tanahashi, and Rey Mysterio.
You know what? I was just totally marked out for this. This is, Liger's always a big fan of Liger's. Ray was one of my favorite, when he was in the WWE, and when he was even started as a fan with him in ECW, WCW, and a little late to the, Tanahashi, being a fan of Tanahashi's than other people, because I had just got started watching New Japan again after he had, pretty much hurt himself. But just a big fan of all three guys. Ray looks so good. I've seen him a couple of times where it looks like he's kind of like the shell of himself, but man, he was just spot on. Mm-hmm. And him and Liger, they don't look like they've aged at all in the face.
They're two handsome men, I think.
And I just noticed this, and I can't believe it took me this long, but have you ever noticed that Tanahashi doesn't even have an ass?
No, I've not.
Flat.
I try not to look at that.
All right, well, go ahead. All right.
No, maybe that's you. It's Pride Month, so there's nothing wrong with that.
That's true.
So,
nothing wrong with that.
I had this, we have it at 4, but I had this lower on my list because for me, the match was just kind of there. I think that seeing the team together, I kind of marked out for it too because, but then again, you could see any New Japan card with the team of Liger and Tanahashi on the undercard, so adding Ray to it was special and it was kind of cool to see them together. So, but I think for me, the match was okay. Nothing wrong with it, but it was just there. I think it just existed to get Ray a New Japan appearance and to get him, into some singles matches and stuff down the line. So it was cool to see the crowd really into it. The crowd was obviously super hot for that pairing. I was surprised, though, that Liger is the designated pin guy, especially in a match with Adam Page in the match. I was really shocked at the finish as far as Liger was the one doing the job. So I love Cody. I love Skrull, obviously. I love their act. And I didn't really do a whole lot in terms of any kind of, discord between Cody and Skrull with their title match coming up in ROH. They didn't really further that. I think this existed exclusively just to get those three in the ring as a team, and they have the fans like you and all the Japanese fans go crazy for just seeing that. So at number 4, the team of Liger, Tanahashi, and Rey Mysterio. At number 3, ironically, we have the Y3J Brawl.
Just oh man, unfortunately. I got up. I thought the show was. I was going to watch it Sunday morning. And actually was, it was Saturday morning when it came on. Got up, looked at Twitter. The first thing I seen was from JoJo Feeney, motherfucker.
That bastard.
He said on Twitter, congratulations to Jericho. So I said, fuck. But man, just a fucking crazy match. What is his gimmick now? It's like, he looks like some fat old rock star that's just went fucking crazy. He was doing all this around the ring. It reminded me like he took an old Memphis Brawl, and stuck it there in New Japan. Those fucking little tables that New Japan has. Mm-hmm. The DDT on the table, the ball driver on the table, just, Oh my God, I was saying fuck, damn, during the whole match. At one point, I'm glad that Naito didn't have anything bad happen to his eye, but at one point I thought they really fucked up. Yeah. I thought it was, inside the eyeball there at first. And I was like, oh, fuck, they fucked up. But just really fun, totally different. That wasn't a Jericho match. That was just a fucking nutty brawl, and I really liked it.
Yeah. I gave it 4 stars. What did you think?
That's exactly what I gave.
4. Yeah. It was, the reason I call him Y3J, and I'm a huge mark for the guy. I love the guy. I love everything about the guy. Vicious is going to kill me on this, but I like his music. I love the fact that, that guy is doing all the fucking things that we would be doing if we could at his age. He's living the rock star life, and he's doing wrestling too, and he has been for 20 plus years. So, I love everything about the guy. I think guaranteed Hall of Famer. But he's looking kind of doughy these days. And that's why as soon as I saw him get his, the clothes ripped off, that he was Y3J now, because he's finally starting to show his age a little bit. However, that did not diminish from the brawl, and it did not diminish from his work, because he was incredible, as he was at Wrestle Kingdom this year. The gear was Clockwork Orange. That's what the gear was. I thought it was obvious that he was channeling Clockwork Orange for this gear. For whatever reason, he went back to a movie that's like 30 plus years old to do the gear. So the old timers will remember that, and movie buffs will remember that. So, but like you said, the power bomb on the table, that in the what I loved about the power bomb on the table is Naito still in his suit going into the table. So that was cool. That was early on. The DDT on the table, and it didn't break. Naito almost loses his fucking eye from the table leg. That was what, like, really early on in the match,
right,
too.
It was, yeah.
And that's something that always scares me when they're working with tables, because you see tables in almost practically even fucking every Monday Night Raw. You'll see tables and stuff. That frequently you're seeing tables used in wrestling these days. And I'm always thinking about, Jesus, watch the table legs, because any number of accidents could happen like that. And sure enough, this time that leg came dangerously close to Naito's eye, and he even was bleeding from the eye, so it could have been a whole lot worse. I thought 4 stars just from the brutality of it, the shocking finish. Whoever would have thought, Y3J winning the Intercontinental title in Japan in June of 2018,
I knew the finish, and I still popped. I was like, damn, I can't, it was just really, like, Jericho is always, no matter who this guy's working, go back and watch after, even I was with Jim Vicious doing the match where we talked about all the psychology of that match. But you go a little bit, past that when he's in WCW, and actually, it's just almost like he turns on a switch and he knows how to do everything and when to do it. He can map out a match. If Jericho would just sit backstage and map out matches for people. And they say Naito's really good at that, too. So you're talking about two guys that know what the hell they're doing when it comes to when it's time to, give each other what they need to give, coming in and out of heat and all that. And for someone, if you don't watch Japanese wrestling because they don't do psychology, you're full of shit. You don't know nothing about wrestling psychology. So, all right, let's get to number 2 because it is about wrestling psychology.
That will lead us right to number 2. Although, one last thing about the Jericho match, I loved at the very end of the match when Evil makes the save and Jericho says, "Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you?" to Evil, which was great. Such a great line. So, at number 2, speaking of psychology, we have the Young Bucks saying "fuck you" to the critics and telling a story.
You know, I've been on here and said the greatest tag team ever. Solid. I love this match. Great, solid, old school. The last, because they just kept building for the finish. So the last final minutes was, one of those where it's just not good, but just great for the final few minutes. If you guys want to know what the Bucks would look like wrestling in the WWE, take a look at this match. This is what it is. I mean, selling and doing exactly what you would do, and they just kind of said, okay, we're going to do, some flippity-floppity shit here and there, but we're going to show you we can do psychology. I thought it was weird that Evil and Sonata was doing everyone's finishers. They didn't make a big deal about that, but I thought it was cool that they were, but I wish they would have made a bigger deal about that. But yeah, Young Bucks showed out again. I gave this match 4 stars because I loved it. I really liked the way they just, like you said fuck you to the critics and said, okay, we can actually do storytelling also.
Yeah, I think, when they want to, they are, they do the spots for sure, and they do the incredible acrobatic gymnastic type stuff, but spot monkeys, to call them spot monkeys, I don't think so. Matt didn't start selling the back initially, but then he started selling the back like he's been doing for the last 6-8 months or whatever. So Matt selling the back, and then Nick with that amazing kick to the post that I don't know where the fucking sound effect came from, but that loud bang when he kicks the post, and the announcers go right into it that he broke his foot. And that basically told the story of the match, the fact that Nick had a broken foot, and they continued on throughout the match. I thought Evil and Sonata held up their own just fine. I thought they were fine in that match. And the Bucks win clean with more bang for yo buck. So, like you said, the last few minutes were just fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and 4 stars for sure. I really do think, we joke around on here a lot about it, I do think they are the best going today, the best tag team today. We joke about the Usos, and we hear people, fucking New Day and other people that are surely entertaining for sure. But I can't even think of a number 2 behind the Young Bucks right now as far as best tag teams. I don't know of anybody that can even come close to them remotely in the same galaxy as those guys. As far as best of all time, boy, I'd be hard pressed to argue with you on that one, brother, because we've all seen some great teams over the years, but yeah, they are just elevating it more and more every time you see them, really looking forward to All In and seeing what they're going to pull off there, who they're going to work with, and just the whole drama and spectacle of what we're going to see at All In. So kudos to Young Bucks for saying fuck you to the critics. So that takes us to number 1, which obviously, what have we not talked about this entire list, but Omega and Okada being state of the art.
Yeah, not a lot, I'm going to say, because I don't do 6-7 stars. I don't do anything like. I've been doing ratings for years, ever since I guess a little after the time that I started reading Observer. 5-star match is the best you can get, and that's just a great match, well put together. I thought it was kind of, I never knew how long it felt. It didn't feel like a long match to me because I was in it. And I knew it was going to be a long match, but after the first 12 minutes, I was like, they're going to end this quick. That's the way it felt, because there was so much that they did in the first 12 minutes. I was just dying. The psychology of this is used very little when it comes to big matches in 2 out of 3 fall matches. It's usually, it'll be the heel wins the first match, the babyface wins the second one, or the babyface wins the first one, heel wins, it's always switching back and forth. If the babyface wins the first match, the first fall, then, the heel win the second fall, babyface comes back, wins the third one. And people are just educated to that. They put Okada over the first fall, and at that point, I was just like, oh my God, they're fixing to do this, kind of thing. I think Don Callis had an orgasm when Omega won. I'm pretty sure he did, if you go back and listen. Fantastic match. I mean, if you don't like Okada, Omega, man, I don't see where you could ever criticize these two guys in the way they work. So, and I'm not saying the greatest match ever or nothing like that. Like I said, we've said this before. There's a lot of matches that I like. I enjoyed, one of my favorite matches this year is an 8-minute match at the front of a AAA show. 8 minutes. But this one right here, at no time did I say, is this going to be over, kind of thing, and just got totally lost in it.
Yeah, I would say just beginning at the very start of it, the entrances are just electric. The crowd is on fire just for the entrances of these two guys. And I was trying to go back to, when was the last time I saw a match where it was two people that were so over like this? And I was thinking Rock against Austin. That's the last thing I can think of that compares to the star power that you've got in this match, of these two guys in this entrance and leading into this match. So I thought the first fall was pretty slow and methodical on purpose, obviously, because we knew they were going over an hour. So I thought they took it a little bit easy. I mean, not to say that it wasn't physical, but they went a little bit slower pace in the first fall. They went about 30 minutes with Okada with the roll-up out of nowhere. I hope Randy Orton is aware of that he used a roll-up out of nowhere. And then just so many moves and those V triggers to the head. I'm like, how are these guys not concussed with all the landing on their head and neck and shoulders? Omega finally winning the second fall when he finally hits the one-winged angel. Third, by the time it was the third fall, the crowd was on fire. The Styles clash, and I thought it was amazing that the Japanese crowd is chanting AJ Styles when they did a Styles clash in the ring. I thought the drama, Ibushi around the ring with a towel. You're thinking, is Ibushi going to throw in the towel? Is that going to be the finish? Is Ibushi throwing in the towel for Omega? But then 2 more one-winged angels to finally win the title. So, if we're going to suspend the stars rating, I had it at 6.5. I think probably, it was just mesmerizing. The whole thing, start to finish, was about 75 minutes. And when they say best bout machine for Omega, I think you got to say best bout machines, plural, because these two guys, I've talked about the chemistry of Hiromu and Dragon Lee, but this one's got to be in the team photo also, the chemistry between Omega and Okada. I think that, obviously the obvious comparison people always talk about is Flair and Steamboat, but I've said it before, now they should be comparing Flair and Steamboat to the Okada Omega series. So just an amazing match, and what a great way to finish this card.
Yeah, you're right. But it's it's a total different style. It's totally different. I hate when people say there's or people that won't watch something because Dave likes Japan better. Well, goddamn, that Japan does better matches right now than anything else. So come on, guys, give it a chance. All right. I'm glad everyone joined us. When we do Japanese rundowns, the downloads aren't super like some of the other episodes, but I hope you enjoyed this one. Lance, we're going to be here, same bad time, same bad channel, on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Love my mama. Be there.
I love the Canellis baby.
Hey, that was another great episode of Shootin' The Shiznit. Hey, join us 2 times a week. That's right, we publish 2 times a week. The episodes drop. Special thank you to Sean Garmer at Wrestling to Max website. That's www.w2mnet.com. Bob McGee at Pro Wrestling's Between the Sheets. www.pwbts.com. LocalsToLegends.com over there. Gene Jackson. And WrestlingNewsCenter.com. Thank you, guys. You can reach me at PayPal if you want to make a donation to the show, and that's Brian_Butler. Tramel, Tramel, at yahoo.com. You can also follow me at Comic Book Mark BT, at BT Shootin The Shiznit there on Instagram. The Comic Book Mark BT is at Twitter. STSpod.club has all the archives. We have 2 Facebook groups. It's the Shootin The Shiznit Facebook group. Just do a search. And we also have the Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk Facebook group. Guys, we talk shit there. If we don't like you, we'll kick you out, okay? We are found on iTunes, Stitchers, Player FM, Pod Paradise, Spreaker, and all other fine podcast platforms. As always, we want to do a big shout out to our podcast brothers before we end the show here. Suplex City Limits, Creative Control, Who's Right Podcast, which is not a wrestling podcast, P3 Radio with my buddy Max there. Red Savine episode is hilarious, guys. And a new one on the podcast row, that is Po Boys Podcast. Do a search of that at iTunes. Another non-wrestling podcast. And we want to put over, hey, we don't have a Patreon side, but a big shout out to Keeping It 100. JoJo and the whole cast of characters over there helps out with Shootin The Shiznit. So if you want to donate to a Patreon side, give it $1, and that's patreon.com/Conan. Thank you again, and we'll see you next week on Shootin The Shiznit.